think I've got it. It's this one over here, isn't it? I think it's that one, right? That button. Hey there, friends. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it might be in your part of the world.
Greetings, my excellent friend.
It is so good to see you. My name is Jeff Fritz, and today is January 4th, 2024. I was training. It's not quite there yet. Not quite there yet. We're going to write a little bit of code today. How you doing there, chat room? Hello, hello. The chat room is right over there. Look at that. We're broadcasting live on Twitch and YouTube. Let me catch up with folks here. How you doing there? Napalm Codes. Yeah, it's Thursday. I started a little bit late today. Just wanted to make sure I got a good breakfast into me and was feeling up and ready to go and yeah, all settled in. Good evening to you, Robert Steffen. Hello, hello. Phil Vesey. How's it going there? What about orange programmers or apple or banana? What? What? What are you talking about? Pair programmers. Oh, I see. Oh my gosh. Oh. Good afternoon, Chris Jones. How's it going there? Frank. Hello, hello. Brainy95, good to see you too. It is Voodoo Donuts. Yes. Fish Belly on Twitch. This is a hat that our friend Junie Von Esch sent me for Christmas. My PO box on Twitch, it's listed right about there. You can scroll down on the wall and see it on the about panels. If you want to send me something, I check that PO box about once every 2 weeks, and go pick up stuff from over there. So, we start the stream on a groan? No, don't do that. How you doing there, Hat Stand? Hello, hello. AV Jera, how's it going? Good to see you. So, we've gone through and we've been talking a lot. We've been doing a lot of work on putting together Tags app and getting migrated to Blazor. And last night I spent a bunch of time not working on that. Spent a bunch of time building script, building visuals for the first in this series of C# with C# Fritz videos that I am editing and I'm going to be posting 1 a week, 2 a week over on YouTube. These are about 5-minute videos. There are at least 50 episodes planned. I've got the first 5 scripted. I've got content and demos for most of them. And you may have seen I posted an image on Twitter of a Sea of Diamonds card. That's one of the images that we're going to use as part of this series, because the series is C# in the cards, and we're going to teach you everything that you need to know about getting started with C# by relating it back to a deck of cards. Everybody can get their hands on a deck of poker playing cards. We're going to make it real easy for folks to learn and know and get excited, get interested about getting involved in programming with C#. So we've done a lot of work to set that up. I've got some images. I've even gone and bought the domain name C# in the cards, because I'm really going to build this out as an ongoing series that teaches basics of C# in 3 to 5 minute segments. And we're going to make sure that those segments are also available in vertical format, and we'll syndicate them over, at the very least, edited versions over to TikTok as well. Hey, Johnny B. Cat, good to see you over there on YouTube. Hello, hello. Frank was writing a little bit of code today, like it doesn't happen on the other Fritz stream. Well, yeah, right. Sometimes we do talk a little bit here. How you doing there, Gimpity Gump? Welcome. Hello, hello. Thank you, Phil. Tick Tick Boom says, do I know of any resources regarding scalability of Blazor at large scale? Scalability of Blazor at large scale. Give me some details. What are you specifically looking for there? That sounds like a loaded question. So I'll just reset the AI detection.
Now we know.
And knowing is half the battle.
There you go. 84% certainty that it knows that it's the Voodoo Donuts hat. We'll tinker with and play more with that. So how you doing there, Cy Gamma? Can you run an Azure container instance for less than $10 a month. Can you run it for less than $10 a month? So Azure Container Apps are supposed to be extremely, what's the word I'm looking for? It, uh, economical for running. The question is really, how much work are you doing over that month? You can run an Azure Container app, and if it only actually does like an hour of CPU work, yeah, you can run it for less than $10 a month. If it's running nonstop, handling processing and performing tasks for you the entire month, all 30 days, 24/7, no. I don't think anybody's going to be able to give that to you. But an Azure Container app with appropriate caching configured, oh yeah, you can probably get that under $10 a month. That might be an interesting coding challenge and an interesting Azure challenge to show making an application that can run in a very, very small footprint. The question is, what does your Azure container instance do? And because they price up based on how much RAM, how much processor you use, and even then, you can cheat it a little bit by paying a year ahead. So, let me see here. Napalm says have to figure out how to convert. Okay, that sounds fun. Converting some images. App won't be heavily accessed, just a personal project and learning GitHub Actions. Take a look at using Azure App Service, because you can set up a hosting model, a hosting service that can run container instances, and you can reuse it for many, many websites. So while it might be $10 to $40 a month, depending on how much processor you use, you can spread that out across many websites. Azure Function and the coding CTO, I see where you're going there, and thank you for joining us. That's a good question, and it also leans on a little bit of what I was asking. What does your container instance do? If it's just a service that's sitting out there responding to things and doesn't do a lot of calculations, an Azure Function might serve that well. So it's a good point, but without getting a little more context as to what the actual processing is, we might not quite get there. How you doing there, Amal? Good JARMuary to you. Good morning. Good morning. Digital Dummy asks, can I host and serve a Blazor hybrid app like a regular web app? Yes, absolutely. So Tags app that we're building here builds, and it will be building and running in a container, and we should be able to pitch that up on Azure App Service, have it running from a container so that it has wait, hang on. You said Blazor hybrid. I'm confusing because there's now 6 different Blazor types of applications. When you say Blazor hybrid, are you referring to a native app that runs on Windows, iOS, Mac, and Android with MAUI hosting? That's what you're referring to. No, you cannot host that like a web app. No. Why? A Blazor hybrid application is designed to be a native application that has embedded in it all the features that it would need, just like a native application. You build, deploy, and here's all the content to run the application. A web application, which you can share your Blazor content and pages from a Blazor application into a Blazor hybrid application. You can share that content across them. There's structures already in place to be able to do that. Just throw that on a website, and you're still good. Will run the exact same thing. Yeah, the cheapest app service plan is it $12? Okay. I'm gonna get some music playing here in the background while we continue chatting. Let's start here. This is called TI-84. This is from the Stream Beats Synthwave playlist. There you go. You can see the song right there. This is music that's DMCA free, royalty free. Listen to it wherever you'd like. Check it out at streambeats.com. I like listening to these instrumental synthwave bits here because I feel like they're kind of groovy to have in the background. But there's all kinds of genres available: holiday music, rock music, R&B, what have you. Big thanks to Harris Heller and his team of creators for making this music available for us to listen to today. Do I know of publishing backend C# service using AOT? Do I know of what? Do I know if it reduces hosting costs? I haven't seen any testimony one way or the other. Oh, you're welcome, Sidegamma. That's very kind of you. Would be at large scale for notable cost reduction. Maybe because it doesn't have to just-in-time compile it. But even then, you're only talking about the first time that you start up. It's a smaller disk. It might be a smaller disk footprint. The idea with AOT is to improve performance by getting rid of a bunch of the cruft and get right to the code with .NET. Eliminate the just-in-time compile. But here's the thing, the just-in-time compile kicks in at the beginning, and then you're running pretty much the same speed afterwards. So, because it caches things in memory. Is it going to use less memory? Is it going to be written to disk somewhere else? Yeah. Well. Storage of minor CPU and RAM overhead. Yeah, negligible. Yeah. Hey, Amal. You tried to run the main branch of TagsApp. It just creates one table, not able to go further. Configuration like login, register. Right. And Amal, that's exactly what is going to be coming with this next big update. The main branch of TagsApp. Where is it? Fritz and Friends, TagsApp. I don't think. So the main branch, it's under here. Hello. Just Echo 2, welcome. Yeah, the connection strings and app settings are all set up. Delete the connection strings section from app settings. Hey, 24 months.
24 months total.
Thank you so much with the Prime, and I'll make another donation to. I didn't spend time researching. I'll make another donation to a charity. Johan, 60 months.
Jahab just resubscribed for 60 months.
5 years with us. Thank you so much. And I'll make another donation to a charity. Much appreciated. So, how to pull YouTube so Twitter content, you need to register and buy access to the API to get the Twitter content. The configuration of all of that stuff is a bit broken right now. And I got to a point of reconfiguring that user interface, and I said, let's pause this because we know we want to rewrite this in Blazor. So let's not get deep in rewriting the provider configuration user interface yet, because we have to go through and get it working in Blazor, because we want it in Blazor for the performance, for the capabilities of having things running in the browser with WebAssembly. So we're not quite there yet with it back at 100% working like it was how many versions ago? So back in November, right? We've broken it for these maintenance tasks. When we get on the other side of these, we'll snap a version, a labeled version of this, and we'll be able to move forward using it. Hey there on YouTube, Zolt, welcome. Thank you so much for wishing me a nice day. Tick Tick Boom says, keep in mind in terms of containerized apps, a lot of mentioned benefits can be achieved more so through efficiencies of Docker setup and image setup. Yes, Docker setup and image setup, right? That's where the AOT and tree shaking really benefits folks, because you can minimize, you can shrink significantly the size of the container for a web app that gets deployed. So, and that feels like something that we can certainly do with Tags app as we get into this. So, right, everybody wants a small container because then it deploys and runs easier, faster, gets pulled and runs faster. Yeah, when you've got use case specific Docker images, you can significantly update them. Amal with a question here: is there any provider where content can be freely fetched? Yes. So the Mastodon provider should run immediately. Should. And you should be able to search and have it start presenting that content. Mastodon, Twitch, there's a sign-up configuration process that I want to make it easier for folks to walk through as well, but we're not quite there yet. Oh my gosh, on Drysec, thank you so much for the subscription, bringing that Prime here. Much appreciate, and I'll make another donation to a charity. You believe AOT totally makes sense for Azure functions because of start time reduction. I agree, AV Jera. However, I'm starting to get into the mindset of Azure Functions has and after the experience we had building with Azure Functions for Clip Talk, Azure Functions is extremely clunky. It's clumsy. It's not the way that I think about building and working with services, and I'd rather do that with a container app where I can set up those triggers and interactions a little bit better. And then I get away from this whole serverless AOT and how it starts and manages interaction there. So it's I've really soured on Azure Functions over the last 6 months. I really have. AWS Lambda works so much nicer, honestly. No knock to Microsoft and Azure. I think the Azure Functions capabilities and service was kind of built like, hey, we need a serverless thing to compete with Lambda, and they didn't actually think through significantly what they were going to do to make that experience better. Like, I get what they were trying to do, but they didn't. They literally threw code at something, and they didn't optimize for the way that the various languages did things. They optimized for how they were going to run things on the server. The cold starts on Azure are not great. Yeah. You've been working with AWS Lambda for a year already. Not a better experience. So, full disclosure, I work for Microsoft. I work with folks that work on the Azure developer experience teams. The developer experience on AWS to manage and use their tools is not as good as Azure. Some of the services on Azure are, and that was an in general comment. Some of the services on Azure, they literally put out there just to compete with AWS, and they didn't really have a complete vision of what they were doing. It was just, hey, we need this thing. And they didn't fully conceptualize it like they did App Service, Azure Container Apps, and so on and so forth. You've seen a tweet related to semantic kernel. Am I going to show something in semantic kernel? I was hoping to in January. However, the semantic kernel team decided to make a lot of changes to their product and then publish updates before they published updates to their documentation and samples and took off for the year-end holiday. So things are kind of disconnected there, and I've actually seen a couple emails get swapped this morning. I'm going to be talking to them next week, the week after, and we're going to figure out how to plug in and do something with Semantic Kernel, probably in February at this point. The window's closed for me to plan and try and get something in January. Azure Functions arguably have a better dev experience. They have a better management experience. They have a better deployment experience. But the framework and tools to build and manage functions long term aren't there. So yeah. So things do go fast, and it is hard to keep things up to date. And when you need to, and Frank, that's a great point. Things go by fast. When you need to migrate and move things, you lose a lot of time. Consider, in the 3 years that I was building and managing ClipTalk, I spent more than a year rewriting large portions of the application to either keep up with Azure Functions updates. Not .NET, Azure Functions, because they changed the way the service ran, and it took me 2 months to rewrite everything. Or I was chasing database providers. I spent more than a year of not adding more than a third of my development time on managing that application was just rewriting infrastructure for my hosting provider. Okay? That's a problem. That's a third of my time not building my product, not building, growing it, competing. That's a problem. Azure Functions are useful from time to time, but when you start building things at scale and you have dozens of functions, it becomes very difficult to manage. And because of the API changes in Azure Functions, when you do have dozens of functions, there is no upgrade path. It's a complete rewrite. And in my case, where I had thousands of lines of Azure Functions, it took a real long time to rewrite. Nope, app service does not run always. You can configure app service to turn off. So, but then you're going to have warm-up time. So, our friends at Code Factory had a real nice approach for generating code for an Azure function front end to your business objects. Very cool capabilities that they had built with their tool. All right, let's make sure that there it is. Hello. Make sure we have our ARM device all ready to go here. And that's not it. What? No. All right. We'll just go over there and then I'll set up the full screen. Yeah, supporting a handful of Azure functions, not bad, but even then they don't scale at and they don't the grain, the size at which you deploy and manage Azure functions is not at the function metric. It's at the project. So if you deploy a project that has a dozen functions in it, you can't say, well, function A, I want to run on 12 machines, while function B, I want to run on 1. Different. In order for you to do that, you need to break your project apart and deploy it separately. So, right? So now something that's serverless, you now need to start thinking about as servers, because there could be contention in these various functions because they're deployed and running in the same memory space because you put them in the same project. So how do we scale each one of those independently? Do you really want to run projects for, yeah, they rank that, Frank, that's a great way to describe it right there. Resources are by function app, not by function, which gets back to the distributed service capabilities that folks want to be able to do. Well, if you want to be able to distribute and scale some services more than others, you need to be able to break them off of and host them separately. And that's a little bit why with our social media providers in Tags app, they're set up as independent DLLs so that in the future, when we are ready to put this into .NET Aspire, we can put them into separate places and have them deploy and manage and let Aspire take care of coordinating all of those together. Let me head over to our Windows 2023 developer kit here. We're working with, it's not there. It's not there. What? There it is. Thank you. And we'll get logged back in here. Ta-da! There it is. Now wait a sec. It's oh my gosh! Wow, that confused me. I'm not gonna lie, that confused me. One second. Yes, there we go. Now we got it. Hey, that's a cool background. Look at that. That's fancy. So we're on an ARM device here, and we've been building and working on ARM, learning about ARM, and while we're working with ASP.NET Core, since .NET compiles to a middle language, to interpretive language, IL, we can deploy and run web applications anywhere. So we're building and working on an ARM device here, working on ASP.NET Core, and quite frankly, we're having a pretty good time. Haven't seen any major differences between .NET on ARM and .NET on an AMD or Intel processor. So let me head over to the Tags app application here, and Amal's right on YouTube. We need to get Tags app back to a place where folks can start it and run it. And while we're in this maintenance with Blazor mode, you can't. You're kind of stuck. So let me head down here and we're going to start Visual Studio. Thanks so much. I want to start Tags app. Appreciate it. I'm going to split the screen. And down here, I'm going to wait for it to get back to me here. Yep, there's always trade-offs. Yep. So let's start WSL, Windows Subsystem for Linux, because I'm going to reach in here and I'm going to turn on a Docker container that's going to host and run all of our database. And am I pushing this too hard? Am I trying to do too much here? So last night I posted the clips from yesterday where Copilot generated a bunch of images and stuff for us. Not images, generated a bunch of HTML for us. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, there you go. Right. Up in here. Right. I published a clip around that. Man, did I forget how mean, how just nasty people are on the internet. Like, what was I thinking? Let's see. Did Docker start? That's not how you spell Docker. There you go. Docker PS. You there? Yes. So it should still be here. There it is. So I will start the container. There we go. And I'll just leave the container on the bottom there so we can kind of see it going there. Did I try Dab to create an API on top of? No, I don't know what Dab is, so no. Why would I know what Dab is? No. Data API builder? No. And I wouldn't do that because I was abstracted over a whole bunch of denormalizations and interactions with the database. No. Robert Tables is here. Hello. Justin Horner, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Let's go down into source and tags app Blazor. And I will .NET watch to get this party started. Heading over here. So I was working on the overlay page yesterday. This is the page when I use featured chat over here and we put a message up. Right, we put a message up on screen. Where'd it go? Wow. It didn't. Did featured chat go to sleep on me here? No. There we go, like Sinclairinator and Wiseotter. Hello. Right, when I use this and I put up a message like that, this is what the overlay does, is it helps to deliver that. How's it going there, Sinclairinator? Hello, hello. So, finally, look at that. And there's Edge. And, right, there's no tags currently being tracked. But here's the thing. I also can't get in and register because I don't have any providers set up to allow me to... is it going to let me do it? Probably is. Right, if I do this... It probably is. Unless I don't type in the password right. There we go. Yes, go ahead. Go there. Confirm my account. Wow, look at that. I'm all confirmed. Feels all warm and fuzzy inside. It was Jeff at jeffreyfritz.com. I have a feeling this isn't going to work. Yeah, it didn't give me admin rights. And the logout button looks awful. What the heck happened there? Yeah, it didn't give me admin rights because that was a piece that we added. See, there's the overlay page. That was a piece that we added to... Specifically, we added into... so that when the first person logs in, they get access. They get granted admin access. Let's head back over here to the front. Fix that logout. That is disgusting. That's awful. What is with that? It's a button? It's a button. Fix that. Stand by. Let's fix that. What are you doing here? What are you doing? It's like over in here. Yeah, login view, right? Go ahead. Go to that thing. Thank you. It's a nav link to the admin if you are an admin. It's a button submit to log out, but it's a span to log in. Because this is doing a form. I don't want the button to look like a button. How to make a Win10 ARM VM? Oh, that sounds weird. Like, why specifically an ARM VM? Right, so how do I make that, how do I drop that from looking like a button? A button to not look like a button. That feels... bootstrap... Button styles. Like, I don't want it to look like a button. Make snippet for a link. What is that? I don't know why you're hanging out there, buddy, but go away. I don't want active state. I don't want disabled state. I want it going away. Like, right? Can we say, like, border 0? Start there. Background, none. Like, that kind of works, right? No, I'm not using the Fluent Blazor UI components. How you doing there, Anoop, over on YouTube? Hello, hello. No, I don't want a button. I don't want it to be a button. Right? I want it to look like a link. But to use, right, as soon as I use... Here, I'll get rid of these two. Come here. And you were saying button link. All right. Still has the underline on it. How do I get rid of the underline? Links and buttons. No. No. You migrated one of your projects to Fluent Blazor UI. It's nice. Nice. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to do text decoration none to make that work. All right. So where was I? Login view. Where'd the button go? There it is. Button link. Thank you. Style. Text. Decoration. None. You go away. Same with you. Why? Yes, that's the logout button. Yes. That doesn't work. What happened there? Okay, there we go. Yep. That was the logout button. I know. I want to make the logout button. Right? So, log out, and that looks right now. Yeah. Yep. Okay. That felt easy. Shoot, I know who developed Java, but their name isn't coming to me right now. It's fine that you don't like it. All right, so I was working on the overlay page, which should, well, let's commit what we've got, right? Like, that's a thing, right? So I'll just split the panel here a little bit so I can do my git change over on this side. I love having multiple panels. So I can just kind of be like completely ADHD with my content here. No, that looks awful. Forget that. I didn't do that. We're not going to do that. We're going to come over here to another screen. Gosling, that's who it is. Thank you, Code with Sean. So we'll jump back into here. Thank you. And let's update fixed styling for the logout button. Thanks so much. Push that out. All right, back over to the overlay that we were working on. So the overlay page hooks up to the Signal R. You know the Signal R. It does all the live interactions. See? And when we receive messages to be displayed, we're going to set the content to that and then present it. And we started doing some formatting here. And we ran into this fun issue here of we need to display time, but we want to display time in the locale of the folks that are using this. Parmesan January. How you doing there, Thin Doll? So this needs a little bit of help. Because this is running on the server, but we want to push it in front of folks on the client. So this feels like we may actually want to do this with a little bit of JavaScript and kind of push the value back in there. What's the significance of those arguments in the Docker file?
No.
And knowing is half the battle.
That's not the right hat. That's really not the right hat. I haven't worn the Twitch gray hat.
And knowing is half the battle.
Only 46%? Oh. Those help with getting passing. Hang on. Yeah, those are passing the build configuration so that when the application builds, it's in release configuration, not debug configuration. So there's optimizations that kick in there as well. Let me get my Gunnar Marin glasses on here. Much better. We can keep going with this overlay and get this formatted nicely. So I think what might be nice to do here is to actually format that, do that time format. Let's do that with JavaScript right here. You know? So I should be able to do a, right, section outlet. One of those. I'd really like to have that as a using statement, if you don't mind. Thank you. Section name equals, I think I just called it scripts. Right. App.Blazor. Thank you. I think I need to put that in my empty layout. Section outlets. And yes, it needs a using statement. There we go. So now back over here. Format date time. And we'll call it the date. And we're going to put this into, I'm going to call this ID time. I guess it's okay to put it like that. No. Where was it? It was in there and shoot. Copy that while we walk back. Come on. Yeah, I know. I know. Keep going. There it is. And I'll get the... Please give me that using statement. That'd be nice. Hey, it did it that time. It wasn't doing it. Oh, you're right. It should be section content. Thank you. I had it flip-flopped. So the formatted date time is going to be that. I jumped too far. Right, and we'll figure that out. Sure, whatever. No, I'm not going to return it. I'm going to say document, right? Query selector dot time. Sure. Can I do value? Can I do value? No, fine. Oh, come on. It was right there. No, there's something wrong with that. Okay. So we're passing in a date time. So something like that. Something like that should work. Don't want to use C# here because I want this formatted using what's local in the browser. Can't do that because this would be running on the server. So, good question though. So I need the JavaScript runtime. And I want to do this on after render. Actually, it's not on after render. It's going to be after display overlay fires. State has changed, which... Dude. That's pretty cool. That was pretty dope right there. That it picked up and hooked that up. So now that should set the time on those. Last, format content with emotes. Did I... Do I have that? I don't think I do yet. That's the old stuff. Yeah, I don't have it written yet. I'm not going to write that just yet. Let's put the to do here. Really? Format the content with emotes. And right, it's content model, isn't it? The emotes are there. I really want to make that explicit, but I'm not sure where else it's used. Format content with emotes. Nope. That's not it. Return text. And we'll figure that out later. Actually, I'll be able to just move this. I like this. I'm setting up the little bit of indirection here. So that when I'm ready to build that and write that functionality, it's just right there. Consequently, then... Oh, this is so much better. Right? I can just say at content... And later, it'll be filled out and have that in there. Yeah, look at that. How you doing there? It's that Junie Von Esch. How you doing there, friend? We're getting there. This is the overlay page, and I think we're getting here. I think we're getting there. I think so. I forget what this thing does. I'm going to leave that there. I can get rid of some of this stuff at the bottom because we're moving it to JavaScript. That wasn't the up button. You know what? Can I just get you? Thank you. Like, line everything up there. Do that thing for me. So if there is a preview card, okay, so I know how to do that, right? If, yes, right? Cool. So I could say, right, content, preview card, come on. Look at that. And alt, can we do that? Okay. Is there no, yes. If there is an error, fix embed image this. I don't know, is that a thing? Hey, Code with Sean. Congrats to my daughter. Bet she had a blast. She did. She had an absolute blast at the Peach Bowl. Very proud of her, and she had an amazing time with the Penn State band this season. I don't know if I have fix embed image in here yet. I'll have to figure that out. Overlay display class name. If there is a preview card, show preview. Otherwise, it's just show. Okay. So well, so that means that this changes, and I should be able to say content not new int. If there isn't one, then it's just show. Otherwise, it's show with preview. And now I can get rid of this. Well, that was easy. I think that works. Aspire is going to be a hot topic, and as things evolve and change here, folks are going to want to know and learn how to do more with .NET Aspire. Ugh, don't talk about code signing. Ooh, avoid that one. Okay, so I think I have the overlay display working properly. I'm not really going to go through and test it. I'm just going to commit this. Because I don't have a way to display yet. Updates. Okay. Let's come back around and touch on that one piece about making someone admin if they're the first to log in. Let's see here. It is, I think I put it down in identity pages. It's like in the registration page. No, really? Where'd it go? There it is. Assign admin for first user. Oh boy. Right, and that's if registration succeeded. So if there is only one user, user manager, add role, admin. Can we close some of these other things? Just to make it a little bit easier to go back and forth between them. I don't know why I have the Git Changes panel. Go away. I don't use it here. I like the command line. I'm a command line person. Accounts. I think it was under register. Yeah, look at all those. Ooh, boy. Register user. User created a new password, and then it goes and gets and sets up for the confirm email. So let's do the exact same thing here. Right? And we'll create that exact same method. And most folks don't need this, but because, right, we want to make the first, this is kind of a toolkit. We want to make the first time somebody signs in to be an admin, right? Otherwise, typically you would have some other system that defines who the admin is and how to get them signed up. So if the user manager users count is 1, get that first user. And tags app, roles and policies, that's what it is. And I should be able to remove those. There we go. So now the first time a user registers to use the website, they get configured as an admin. At least it should. Let's go. Wow, install Ubuntu. I'd like Data Studio, please. Don't mind if I do. Let's see. Take a look at my connections. Hey, there it is. It's right there. It's my container. Wow, look at that. It's connecting. Come on. Get in there. New query. Thank you. Took you long enough. Public tables. I think it's just under ASP.NET users. No. No claims. Wow, look, there I am. Shouldn't be anything in tokens. Shouldn't be anything there. Those are logins to other services. So the only place where there's an entry is in ASP.NET users. ASP.NET users. Fine. Is it still running out here in the background? Should be. Yes, restart the app. I told you to. Still no updates to Windows? Let's take a look. Nope. Nope. No updates to Windows, and we are still on the 2021 version. Yep. Still on the 2021 version. And any optional updates? Nope, nothing there either. So there we go. It restarted and eat broke. Section outlet does not have a property matching name. Yeah, I know. I probably gave it the wrong thing. Right? Empty layout. Right, it's supposed to be like section name or something like that. Yeah, see, there it is. Go ahead, now rebuild. This one. Okay, cool. So now if I try to register, to go register again, because that's who I am. I'm the registration person. That, and then password, I will use the ever secure password 1. Wow, role admin does not exist. We changed this. I'm not going to do user manager add to role async. Add claim. The user is user. You might have heard of him. And a claim, yeah, sure. We'll put a new claim. Oh, it was right there. It was right there. Except I'm going to call this roles and policies admin. And it doesn't know what these things are because we're missing a using statement. We're still missing using system security claims. System, no. System security claims. Who dat? That looks like it worked. Interesting. Take care, Dr. Cox. Have a good one. Okay, so let's go back over here. Delete me again, which sounds so mean. Try and register one more time. No, I thought you reloaded. You didn't. Punk. Semicolon expected on register. What? Are you kidding? Okay, so that didn't even build. Username's already taken. Try that again. There we go. Click there to confirm my account. Hey, I confirmed my account. Look at that. I've got an account. So, log back in. Look, I've got an admin menu. Look at that. Yeah. And now we can do admin things. If we look at users, do I have users? Look at that. I know that guy. Yeah, that's Jeff. But the Jeff menu didn't appear here because it doesn't have a display name, because when I did registration, I didn't have a display name. Look at that. My profile's been updated and now I've got a name up there. Yeah, all right. So we need to put name on the registration page. Ah, you're welcome, Sinclairinator. So, let's see how we doing here. All right. That's not right. It's not doing that right. This is admin index. I've got too many bars here. Let's first things first. Let me save that change. Updated to force first user to be an admin. First registered user. Which will help. I think it was Amal on YouTube. It'll help you so that the first, right, when you do set up your own instance of this so you can learn and follow along, you will be configured as an admin. You'll have access to do all the things. So, I forgot I didn't push that. You got to push that out so people can get the thing. Pull the changes so it does the formatting. Oh, we got an update on Blue Sky to get the Blue Sky features so that we can get the username. I'm not going to work on that right now, but there is feedback about it. So that looks like it's working. Back up here over to the run. It says hot reload succeeded, but this doesn't look right. Let's go over to index Blazor. Not account, but admin page. This one. So tag search and tag 1, tag 2. Where did they come from? Model. Ah, it's right there. It's just a model. The search. Oh, so that's Control T, and it lets you search your code. So I can even specify like method names, not just files, or I can specify class names or properties, and it will go find those and jump me through to them, right? So like that format content with emotes. There's the method. And I could jump right through to it, right? Cool stuff like that you can do in Visual Studio to jump very quickly around your code. And of course, we talked about bookmarks a couple weeks ago. How you can use bookmarks to kind of tag where you want things to go and jump around. Well, this is different from Visual Studio Code. And Visual Studio Code just does a text search in your content. This is specific to the language and looking for language features. So, all right, where was I? So those tags are being passed in from here. It's just kind of initializing it. So we need to get the list of current tags from the database. Those are being managed by the messaging service. So we should inject the messaging service. See, there it is. And I'm sure that's fine. You can call it that. So we could say model equals new. Thank you. I'll take one of those. No, not really. I should be able to actually just say tag. Ooh, boy, that was a mistake. I should be able to just say new, right? Let's get rid of that. Oh, fine. Right, so which just gives you an empty list of tags. Yeah, okay. But what I should be able to do now is say messaging service dot tags tracked. That one is an IEnumerable of string. So I should be able to say model tags equals to list. Says it hot reloaded. Yep, there we go. So it cleared it out. Yes, the database is running in Doctor. Doctor.
Hello? Hello? Anybody home? Hey, think, McFly, think.
Database is running in Docker. Hello, Enfi. English, please. Yes, the database Doctor. Why? For some reason, you're slowly learning? Okay. For some reason, Bing Translate always wants to translate whatever I paste into it to Spanish. I don't know why. So, all right, will that do the save? So tag search has a form and it's set up with a post button, but that's not actually going to do the save. Does that surface hurt? We're gonna amputate it. Let me see. So what should we do here? I forget how we add it in the old model. Why don't we go look at it? It's actually part of index. So on post, takes the messaging service and it calls add hashtag to watch. Okay. So up here, we should inject. If I'm injecting, then I don't need to receive that model. It's only a model. I don't need to receive that. If I'm handling all of this internally here, I don't need that either. Don't need that. And I can go back over to tag search, inject the messaging service. Uninitialized. Hey, wow, look at that. No. Really? Okay. So here I can say model dot tags equals, yeah, messaging service get tag. What was it? Tags tracked. To list. Okay. So up here I can do @on submit equals @ tag. Right? I could do something like that, can't I? No, not override. Async task add tag. We could say await messaging service, right? We just saw it was right, like add hashtag to watch. Yeah, there we go. And that'll be model dot new tag. right? Then I can say, yeah, like that. And right, then I could say model dot new tag equals, yeah, string empty. Hey, Skylex. How did I implement the admin panel? Carefully. What messaging framework? There is no messaging framework being used here. I've literally, the messaging service is, it's just an in-memory queue that I'm using to pass data back and forth as an in-memory service. I have a Postgres version of that just looks at stuff in the database, but as part of the service leveling up of this, probably in February, we're going to swap that out with Azure Service Bus and use Service Bus to push these messages around. So the admin panel is just a series of pages here. There's nothing unique to it at all. So I should be able to say here now .NET, and now I feel bad. I feel bad. Right? Can we reload that? Try this again. .NET. Poof. Where did it go? I don't know. I kind of agree with you, Xbox One. Kind of agree with you. It doesn't need to be a form. That's fine. Let's get rid of that. Get rid of this. At one click. Add tech. That's a little more readable. All right, so .NET. Add. Where did you go? Come on. Come on now. Adding tag. Something. I use a Postgres table instead of an in-memory queue. And I just say select the most recent stuff. What are you doing? The game is afoot. It's not disabled. It's clearly enabled there. Right? Let's just make it a button instead of an input. This is sitting on index. Index is static. This is static. That's why the form wasn't working. When in doubt. What did it? There's an entry there, but it doesn't have any text. Feels bad. Why? Because it's value. What the? Mm-hmm. Rebuilding. Been here. Yeah, right. That's everybody's favorite debugging tool versus just having a debugger, a real debugger, a man's debugger. Or woman's, whatever. There we go. There we go. There it is. So now if I go over to waterfall, yeah, it's not wired up. I haven't put the providers in, but this page works now, right? And that single hashtag model is in place. My users, yeah, look at that. Not going to assign roles. Yay, look. Providers, yeah, that's not a thing yet. Still got to get there. Customization stuff. This should work. Fritz's Wonder app. Moderation enabled. That should be a value there, but it's not yet. I said save changes. Where'd they go? Nope. So that's not saving. Let's save what we've got. Completed tag search configuration. Right. Updating little bits here. Get it going. Should there be a button to remove or change the search tag? Yes. That's a new feature. So, yes. This page, the UI customization. Stand by. It's the same question we just had. UI customization. This one. It is interactive server. So, well, there's a input button here, but I thought we built this. I thought we used this. Plain Bootstrap. A little bit of customization, but for the most part, plain Bootstrap. We're not saving the value. Oh, man. Right, and even then, the Markdown toolbar looks awful. I really don't like this toolbar. And this page is broken because I didn't migrate it yet. But this one, yeah. I thought we did this. Okay, so we can pass through and call save configuration on it with the... Okay. All right. It's not mini chat GPT. It's an old service that they had called Q&A Builder that needs help. I want to replace that with semantic kernel. So, okay, so a lot of this was just a straight copy over. This needs to be in a bind. Oh, good. Yeah. What the heck happened over here on the Twitter? Docker desktop on ARM. Okay, that'd be nice. We worked around it, and I'm okay with that. Input type radio with Blazor. There's a there is a Blazor input. It's like input radio group. I forget what this works with. Input radio group and input radio with a value. Yeah, really? Show me the actual documentation. Input radio right there. Give me one of those. Why don't you show me how to use this? I hate these types of comments. These documentation entries like that. Because it's literally just a rendering and there's no link. Here's an example of how to use this. Like, come on. Why don't I just type input radio? Really? No wonder other people wrote documentation for this. No. No examples provided on how to use this component. What is the syntax? What would be a good... yeah, no wonder. The documentation for that feature is trash. Input radio group, bind value, and then there's input radio with values. Okay. So if we do input radio group, yep, bind value equals, ooh. Thank you, Copilot. That's exactly what I was looking for. Radio button. Who needs to know to use those? How many kids don't even know what a radio button is? Right? How many kids don't even know what a radio is? Because you get in the car and you don't really turn on the radio in the car. You've just got your tablet or your phone you're listening to. Right? How many kids get in a car? No, I know that might be a little bit of a stretch. That's probably a bit too far. Not gonna lie. Text area. Is there a Blazor input text area? I forget. I don't know. It sounds good. Let's give it a try. Input text area. Is that a thing? Input text area. Hey, look at that. Wow, that's pretty cool. So can we make this right? Input text. Gosh, why didn't I just try just typing it. Sure, I'll give it a name. I'll give it a style. Yeah, that looks good. And then, you know what? Who cares about style? Style goes somewhere down here, right? Is it value? Value, yeah. There we go. And can I just make it that? And something like this. Wow, that really doesn't look great. Thank you. That's better. I guess that kind of works. Florida man, welcome. Hello. I'm depressing you. Sorry, Thindall. Sorry. I mean, right? It's an input type. Yeah, right. Okay. And do this like an on click and say like save changes. Right? Async task save changes. Right, and because I bound all the things, right? Application configuration dot save configuration, and I can say configure tags app factory cart. Await that, John. How'd that do? Ooh. Wow. Requires a value for value expression. For the input text area. So you're telling me that should be like right? Something, I don't know. Whatever. Rebuild, it's too long. How you doing there, Florida man? You're currently learning C#, and it is so nice that it's being used on Twitch to follow and challenge yourself. Oh, that's great. And the AMA tag is on. You're welcome to ask questions whenever here. And I broke it. Oh, because I'm doing a bind value and I'm passing through something that is not a value. Rebuilding. Come on. Come on. Do it. All right. Yep. Yep. That looks good. So let's try changing this to Fritz's Wonder app. No. Did not save the changes. Or if it did, there it is. Didn't update. And then? No, and then. So it did save it. Yeah, it's not until it navigates that it picks it up. That it refreshes the header. Let's also... let's go in here. No. Blue. Back over here. I don't think it saved it. Or maybe I just did it wrong. Dot waterfall header. No. Oh, I don't think I brought in the CSS. Waterfall.resor. Is it in? Yeah, I didn't put the CSS on here. Yeah. So app config is there. I have the application configuration. I don't know why I'm creating a new one there. Right? It's like header content. Right? To put stuff in that header outlet. Now, no state has changed. Oh, shoot. Where did we do that? Where we put content. Uh-oh. I've angered it. Oh, yeah. Eat broke. Eat broke. Big old crash on Visual Studio. Nice. It's my last Alani in this box. Oh no. What time is it? I'm only going to go for about another 45 minutes. Because I want to get some YouTube videos recorded and published. And get the C# in the Cards website started. And I don't want to do those live on Twitch. No offense. Yeah, head content, not header content. Alright, fine. Somewhere down here. Right. If app config, waterfall header CSS. That's pretty good. Why didn't you find section outlet? I know there's section outlet. Get rid of that. This. That should work. Yep, it's doing a rebuild. See what happens. See what we get. Yeah, this is a preview version of Visual Studio, and Visual Studio on ARM at that. So, a little bit fewer users using this version. That still didn't work. That still didn't work. There's where the style should have outlet, but it didn't. If it is not null, app config waterfall header CSS. It tried to put something in there. But I think that... Oh, wait a sec. I'm not actually injecting it. I'm just saying, give me the new one. Right there. I can receive that now. Because it is registered with the application. So I should be able to just reach in and grab it. Come on. Wait, that's still not right. I know what that one is. Oh, come on, man. What did I name the page down here? Yeah, waterfall CSHTML. Why didn't you find that? When I output the CSS for this one, model waterfall header CSS. Oh, I wrapped it. Yeah. All right. After these event handlers. All right, fine. Waterfall header CSS. No. That's not what I called it, is it? Or was it just app config? Yeah, just app config. What? So now I can just say add at waterfall header CSS. There we go. And now it's just the block at the top. Fantastic. How you doing there, Warm Peas? Hello. I feel like there's still a border issue there or something. But also, let's just double check. Customization, let's make this now green. No. Save changes. Waterfall display, refresh, and it's got it. Cool. Fixed saving of UI customization and display of CSS on waterfall page. That's not... Pull first. Push. Okay. We're getting there. Right? I'm not going to touch portrait overlay because it's basically the same as overlay. I'm going to end up doing a copy-paste job there. The admin page, we know home works. We know users works. Providers is a whole kettle of fish that we're going to get into. And we did customization. The waterfall header here, that's... What happened there? Ah, there it is. Thank you. In YouTube chat, I haven't touched on yet. There's a lot of commits in this section. Part of me wants to rebase here a little bit. Right? Like, right there. Onto Baker Alpha 2995. Right? There's a lot of things in here. So let's just squash a bit of them now. Oh, come on. Really? And just cleaning all this nonsense up. And a bunch of these messages, I'll just remove entirely because they're not. What the heck? I'm pressing insert and it's inserting a row. That's weird. Yeah, vertical select is very useful. Oh my gosh. Let it squash all that stuff. You stink. You really stink. And I can't even edit it with VS Code because I don't have code here. Yeah, go ahead and reload. No, we're not there yet. We'll applaud in just a minute here. All right, what is it I need? First start configuration. Yeah, go ahead, normalize them. Yeah, it's basically mark the entire file. Service extensions. And it looks like this is basically mark the entire file also. Yeah, for formatting changes. Last one, that's fine. Get rebase. Continue. First start configuration, Razor CS. Yes, I know it contains conflicts. Fix it. Sure. You... whatever. First start configuration. It didn't accept the merge. I told it to accept the merge and it didn't accept the merge. That's really freaking annoying. What happened over here? Good. Getting rid of all of these. Developers. Chaos Encoded. Welcome. Yep. Code formatting updates. Get rid of some of these other lines. Ah! Thank you. Hey, Perry!
Perry at Digitalox shared 11. Happy New Year. Best wishes.
Happy New Year to you as well. Hope you're having a good one. Yeah. Force. Oh, you're kidding. Great. Please tell me there isn't a merge error. There's a merge error. For start configuration properties. Mm-hmm. Okay. How's it doing on the rebuild with that? How's it going, Perry? Good to see you. Hello, hello. Appreciate the cheer. There we go. Right, and we still have our green. Yeah, good. Just amend to fix that one. There we go. All right. So I have admin page working. If I turn on moderation here, right? So moderation screen probably isn't working. Blocked users. So first off, I've got the wrong cursor when I mouse over those. So we should take a look at that in the header Blazor. Really? Let's see. So down here, yep, those are Razor page style nav links, not nav links in the Blazor style, right? And remember, a nav link component it's like a hyperlink, but it also has an indication of the current page that it's on. So that's kind of handy. We'll have to build the moderation page. Maybe that's one of the next things we do here, is start getting that working again. We don't have an ASP area. That's not a thing here anymore. You go away. Right? Oh, I could do that with vertical selection. Right, just kind of delete both of those. And do this. So that the blocked users page is available. Why is... Can we just make this a nav link? Can we make this a nav link too? And while we're at it, make this a nav link? Just to be consistent? Like, why not? Right? And hey, look at that. Now we got the... Now we get the finger when we mouse over those. Which theme do I generally use in Visual Studio? Hey, Anoop. I normally use dark theme in Visual Studio. I know there's folks that say, oh, you should use light theme when you're presenting in person or presenting online because it's easier to read. No. No, it's not. In person, I can kind of buy that. I can kind of buy it. But online, no. Completely disagree. And I'm willing to argue that with anybody. Let me see here. So where was I? keeping an eye on. Yeah. Okay. So that stuff works. In person with a projector, I've seen benefits to it. I can go either way in person, but dark mode otherwise is the preferred. So moderation, there isn't a moderation page yet. We should start building that. Moderation page is going to be a lot like the waterfall page. And I think moderation page, I think we can do this one well. It used to matter more when bit rates were lower. I can tell you right now, if I turned on light mode, everybody in this chat is going to go, ah! So, and you know it too. F's in chat if you'd prefer light mode coding. Chris Jones! Don't you dare. I'm going to reject that one because I want to stop here at noon so I can get some lunch and I can do some other recordings. I see what you're trying to do. But I'm going to pass on the Vim. Okay. But light mode I will do. Light mode I will do. No, don't do notepad. No. So we will do theme. How do you feel about that? This is how we have to code in light mode. Black sunglasses. These are actually TwitchCon sunglasses. You can see the Twitch logo there. C# Josh.
Sharp Josh just resubscribed for 50 months.
Thank you so much. 50 months with us. And I'll make another donation to a charity. Let me put up the light mode indicator here. There it goes. Yeah, I see. I'll zoom in just a little bit more because we're on the smaller screen. Wow, and the chroma key is devouring me over here. Look at that. What did you just do? What did you just do? And you want T-Pain? That I think we can do something with T-Pain. Absolutely. Love to do a little T-Pain. There we go. Auto-tune the code for 5 minutes. Someone tell, what's it called? You know. Someone tell our friend Joystick Nick, auto-tune the code. Here we go. 5 minutes on the clock. Wait, what? What happened to... Oh, no, we're good. We're good. That's my selector there. Ah, there we go. request on YouTube to request translations in TagsApp. Do me a favor. Open an issue in the TagsApp repository. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link in the description to the TagsApp repository. Go ahead, click through there, open an issue, enable and asking to enable translations. We'll get that in the queue to be done. These bigger architecture fixes are going to take priority. When we get through those and we finish integrating some of the other providers we have as a priority, that will definitely pick up and be in there. JS Maniac, you like this? You like me being tortured with light mode? I see how this works. Welcome. Nice to have you joining us. Let's do this. Yeah, not light mood, Junie. Light mode. All right. So I was going to start working on the moderator page. Let's do that. Moderators. But I'm sorry, I don't know how to read your name on YouTube. Do you have an English-ified name? I can't read the Farsi. I'm not familiar with your language, but you're reminding me that's a feature I should add to the C# series: localization and translation. There's 2 more lessons we should add to the mix. Yeah. Moving on. I will get them in my notes. All right. We need a moderator page, a moderation page. So let's do this. Add a page, it's kind of a Razor component. Kinda. No. I want to use Control-Shift-A so I get the Add New Item dialog. And I'm just going to call this moderation.Razor. Should be Razor, but we're fancy like that. All right. Let's see. I want to make this render mode interactive server. Thank you. And there's some stuff that's going to appear on this page, and I don't know what. Let's go over to the other moderation page, CS/HTML. Excuse me. And we'll use the waterfall layout. Sure. Layouts. Layout. Waterfall layout. Good. Title is moderation. Sure. Page title. Yeah, it was there. It was right. Copilot is good. And there's some content that's going to go in here. I don't know what this is. I'm just copying it. I don't know. Wow. Paste that in. What am I making? This is called TagsApp. I don't have a link to it and I didn't share it. Can somebody share a link to TagsApp on Twitch? So that JS Maniac can learn a little bit more about it. Have I tried running Linux on one of my machines? Oh. So this is JARMuary. This is a theme month where I'm working on ARM-based devices all month long. And today we're on a Windows dev kit that's an ARM-based device released in 2023. We're working on this device today, ARM processor, and all the goodies. We're going to be spending time this month on a Mac laptop, and Mac M1 laptop. We're also going to spend some time coding on a Raspberry Pi 400, showing that .NET developers can be productive with ARM processors everywhere. Have we used Linux before? You betcha. March is our theme month called Minimal March. We're going to be coding at the command line all month long, in Ubuntu Linux, and even on a Chromebook at one point. Coming up in May. May is for Macs, all month long on the Mac, developing, coding, building on the Mac. And every October, we've been doing this. It'll be the 7th Ubuntober coming up. All month long in Ubuntu Linux, sponsored in part by our friends at kfocus. Are they .com or .org? I forget. They make Linux-based laptops. They've provided one that I use for the Linux-based streams. Linux-based streams, fantastic device. Fully loaded, really tuned device for power users and developers. They have provided me with a laptop. No other compensation, though. Happy to share and show off their device as part of this. How you doing there, Matt? 1567. Hello to you. I'm going to keep going with T-Pain here for a little bit. Continuing. Yeah, I didn't set up a project command. Thank you so much, DGen1, for sharing the link. There's the key focus. Thank you, Ionescu, for sharing that. Is it cold outside? It's not too bad. But it is cold. Yeah. This is cool. I'm glad you like it. And the theme month, JARMuary. I should put a post somewhere about the other theme months that we have planned. Do I do AI April again? I don't know. Maybe. We need a different voice. Let's come off this one.
That's better. The Mad Titan voice is online. And I can make half your code disappear. Like that. Much better. Here we go. The voice filter is off, buddy. That's why we're gonna shift it around a little bit. Why is the layout of identity pages and components different if you scaffold them during developing an app compared to starting out with it? This is Blazor in .NET 8. It's different. When you scaffold, all the content is there. So, you like that better, Slat? Thank you. Unironically, for a second there, I thought you said Unicron-ically. Unicron voice will be fun. Moving on. Here we go. So there's a lot of JavaScript in this page, and we're building with Blazor, so JavaScript can take a hike. Right?
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
We're C# developers. Blazor lets us avoid JavaScript.
This is my fight song. Take back my...
And I'm gonna stand by that. Okay, so we're building the moderation page. I've got content and things we want to do here. I need information. Let's see. Oh my. I think we can inject the messaging service. So there is a messaging service. There we go. Thank you. Take one of those. Don't mind if I do. And we're gonna override uninitialized async. Let's reach into the messaging service. And I believe we can get our providers. Yes. So in the case of Tags app, providers are like Twitter, Mastodon, Twitch, Discord, so on and so forth. I'm gonna get that list of providers and use that. Actually, I can use it here too. That's a nice messaging service, right? And then it's not providers. I want something else. Text tract. And yep, just format that. Thank you. A current moderator's block. We'll need to make this C# edge. You wish you were this good at tech? I'm not that good either. You should see the smoke and mirrors in this place. Let's see. A link to blocked users. Change that from ASP page to href. Blocked user account. Do I have the blocked? I don't. Is it on the messaging service? No. So let's do this. Put a thing there. No. Let's just say blocked user account. And I don't know what that is, but it's a thing. Public int blocked user account. And I'm gonna default that to 0. To do fetch the current count of blocked users. Fantastic. What else? Filters. That's okay. We'll leave that. We'll figure that out. But here we are, the providers. Yes. So look at the messaging service providers. Wow. I guess that works. I guess. I don't know. What do you struggle with, JS Maniac? The AMA tag is on. Let's talk. Let's figure it out. Let's see. Was it this one?
And we're almost done with light mode. Oh man, it's gonna be so good when we're done with light mode. And I can go back to dark mode and stuff. Yeah. Everybody likes dark mode. Why am I getting underlines here? Define section does not exist. What defines section? No. Put the other music back on. I'd like that. That was fun. There we go. All right. And less than 20 seconds left in light mode. That'd be good. That'd be real good. This stuff down here, you know what? This is JavaScript stuff that we're not necessarily going to be using. So just so we can get it compiling, I'm going to remove that. There we go. So that should at least give me a page that's building. What do we got here? Unclosed div tag. You're right. You're right. And after that, I put a section with scripts. Wow. There was tagged content, then moderation action. Yeah. Close the last div there. We can get out of light mode now. Oh, man, let's get out of light mode. Please. Please. Put the sunglasses to the side here. I don't want to get more themes. I just want to change back to dark. Por favor. And I can go back to my gunner glasses. Much better. Much better. Back to the full screen coding. Oh, there we go. You don't know, you want to be great at software. You're currently learning Python, pretty good at JavaScript, but struggle with making projects useful and getting paid to do things like this. I do have a Discord. There's a link to the Discord just below. Oh, thank you so much for showing up. Goodbye. All right. Sorry, we don't allow drive-by promotion like that. So where am I here? So that should now at least compile. Yep, go ahead, recompile. So, JS Maniac, what the questions that I ask folks who are new into development, who are finding their way, getting your feet wet and starting down the path, learning Python and JavaScript, that's a good combination to have at least 2 languages. The questions that I follow up with always are, what do you want to do with that knowledge? Great, you know Python, you know JavaScript. What do you want to do with that? Do you want to build websites? Do you want to build games? Cloud-based services? Do you want to build IoT devices? What are you interested in? Because that'll kind of drive what next steps you take and where you can focus so that you get to where you want to be. If there's something that I encourage for new developers, for any developer, even if there's folks that are in the middle of looking at what they're doing and they're sick of building websites, you want to change direction a little bit, figure out what that next thing is and then get laser focused on studying, learning, practicing to get you there, because anybody in the tech industry can do anything with tech as long as you put your mind to it. And what we see, 15 years ago, I was a lead developer at a small startup company building a software as a service website, and it was fine, it was nice, but I enjoyed teaching people. And I started speaking more and more at events and user groups and that type of thing. And I got noticed by a large company who wanted to hire me as a developer advocate. I went and I joined them, and I went into developer advocacy. Some folks call it developer relations now. And I learned what I was doing, what I needed to do there. And I got recognized by the folks at Microsoft because I was giving presentations and teaching about their product better than they were. Director there called me in and said, hey, you want to come work for us? And I literally, because I did well at the things that I was passionate about, found my way to the largest software company in the world, teaching people about my favorite technologies, C# and web development. So figure out what kinds of, what interests you. You don't even have to say, this is what I'm going to do for the next 30 years of my career. But figure out what excites you. And talk to some friends, folks in the Discord here, folks in the channel. And people can help point you in a direction that'll help get you successful or get you learning and moving in that direction so that you can be successful with whatever it is that you want to get into. Old school coders write constant learning, right? Glengarry Glen Ross, right? They have the famous quote from that movie, always be closing, the ABCs. In tech, it's always be learning. Always be learning. Read somebody's blog post. Write a blog post about, hey, I found this technique that works for me. And be open to feedback. Well, that's great. Your technique worked nicely, but you know what? Here's something that will make that even better. I have a problem with the way you do that because you missed points X, Y, and Z. And have those conversations. Be open to change. Be open to feedback. Positive and negative feedback. Old school coder, been in this game for over 30 years and still learning. I'm closing in on 30 years. It'll be 10 years at Microsoft in November. So build a blog application is a good place to start to build a sample application. Yes. We've been working on Tags app here. This is month 6 in building this application. We're continuing to tweak and wrench on it, and we'll continue to build and tune and make something interesting here. I forgot to decorate the moderation page with a page directive. Pardon me for a second here. Yeah, moderation, just like that. Oh, it even says it hot reloaded. Really? No. No. Because you didn't actually restart. Like, you didn't identify the new page and load up. But building a blog application, Anoop is right. Over there on YouTube, Anoop is right that building a simple application like that will get your feet wet and kind of, right, get you that first experience. There we go. That'll show you and right, show you kind of some of the limits, some of the sides of the thing that you can do. You tried freelancing. Many people in your area have a problem working with minors. You're 16 turning 17. Okay. Not going to lie. That is risky for... In the United States, it is risky for offices to work with minors. There are laws, there are constraints around working with minors where folks need, right, in today's day, folks need to be approved and sign off that, yes, you're working with somebody who is not an adult. That's the way that things are. Not too much that we can do to change about that. But working with open source projects, tweaking, learning, reading things on GitHub, publishing things that you're interested in on your GitHub account are going to get you noticed and are going to get you picked up. And as you approach age 18, you'll find that folks are much more amiable to talk to you about a contractual job. Particularly under 18, getting a contract is going to be tough because they need to bring, in the States, they need to bring in a third person to sign for it because you're still a minor. FizzBuzz was a mechanical engineer for 8 years, then was exposed to programming at a robotics firm, loved it, then spent the next 3 years teaching themselves programming and web development, and that's what you do now for the last 13 years. That's awesome. I love hearing that, FizzBuzz. Yeah, big applause for FizzBuzz. Old school coder's been teaching streaming viewers that coding a Twitch bot in Python so they can understand coding mechanics. There you go. Coding a Twitch bot is one of those kind of rites of passage for streamers on Twitch. It's easy to connect and listen and to the chat room and to build that interaction. It's kind of a rite of passage. Everybody builds one. I have one out there also. So, freelancing on Upwork, that's interesting. Should you focus on university for programming? I can't answer that for you. Here's the deal. Having a university degree where you get a background in algorithms and software development and processes, and that is going to give you a firm background in those practices. It's not going to get you experience in programming. The only way you're going to get experience in programming is by writing programs. That's just the way it is. You're going to get assignments that are going to give you exposure to different things, but you're not going to get exposure and interaction with that. Microsoft does not look at your degree to hire you as a software engineer. That said, though, they're not going to hire somebody onto the C# engineering team, the C# language team, who doesn't have a degree, because the folks on the language teams, literally, the program managers, the lead developers, all have PhDs. Not only do they have PhDs, but these people have been thinking about and designing and building programming languages for decades. Setting the direction for a programming language is not something that they're going to go into trivially. But if you want to join Microsoft as a rank and file engineer, and they will get you education if you want it, and you want to advance your career. But there are certain products and things that you will not be able to get into. You will hit a wall in larger organizations if you don't have a degree. So do you want to spend time getting a degree now? Or risk that going back in your 30s or 40s to get a degree later is going to put a pause on your career? Don't know. I can't answer that. So, but it's a very good discussion, and you don't need a degree to get some of those jobs. Some, like I said, there are limits that you won't be able to get into because if you don't have a degree. You'll just get your degree and focus on getting stuff out there and learning. So, and JS Maniac, that's what I did. When I was at Penn State, right? I went to Pennsylvania State University in State College, Pennsylvania. When I went to Penn State, one of my professors, I remember him very well, a guy named Stan. Stan was very much focused on, and you see a bit of what he taught me and how I teach and present things here on stream, and you're going to see it in my YouTube series here. He taught me that practical experience is much more valuable than any book knowledge that you can get. Book knowledge gives you a foundation, but the practical experience is where you're going to learn how to do things quickly and cut corners and know when you can cut corners and what practices work well and don't work well and fit and work in your brain to deliver code better. That's why I'm teaching about Blazor here and building an application that folks can go to and interact with online. Now we're in a rebuilding, re-architecting phase right now, so it's not all online. But the source code to this is completely available. Anybody can download, take a look at it, tinker with it, send pull requests, so on and so forth. But while I was at school, what Professor Stan taught me was, that's great. We're here's some folks that are in the community that have various projects, various needs. Let's build something for each one of them. Some folks built little Excel spreadsheets. I built an Access database for a company to manage their inventory levels. And then I kept doing that on the side, tweaking and tuning that little Access database. Got paid a couple bucks for doing it. Took care of some beer money for me while I was in college. The point is, side work while you're at school in programming is a very, very big thing. Blasai says a lot of problem is a lot of companies go after coders instead of software engineers, and when you put a nice amount of money in front of young people, they might forget about getting the degree. Totally. FizzBuzz is self-taught, doesn't think you'd be at where they're at now if it weren't for Microsoft. Really made learning process accessible to everyone. Microsoft has done wonders for the industry, and they don't get thanked enough for it. I agree. As somebody who builds free material for Microsoft that you can download and use, folks have been through my tutorials. You don't even know it's mine. You've been through my free videos. You've been through my workshops. The content's all out there. It's free for anybody to download and take a look at. Folks have seen it and gone through them. There's a lot of content we generate for folks to be able to learn from. Feeling great reassurance? That's great. None of your IT friends want to actually build stuff? Yeah, see. What's something that's tedious for you that you could write a little bit of code to solve? Right? Start there. I was giving folks, and I may go back to it after I finish the first series on C#. I was giving folks the idea of build a collection website. I don't care what your collection is. Everybody has a collection. It might be coins, it might be comic books, it might be movie posters, it might be toenail clippings. No, wait. No. But everybody has a collection. Build a little website to manage your collection. What's that look like? You collect comic books? That's great. Give me a way, after you've figured out a way to put the comic books on the website and you get to and you're downloading and showing the comic book cover images from the Marvel API that gives you those comic book cover images. Now give me a way to search through your collection and show me all the Spider-Man comic books. Okay, now show me a way that I can get all the comic books that you purchased, that you acquired over the last 90 days. Things like that you'll start tinkering with and learning, and you'll figure out and you'll get into and learn how to build larger applications. Hey, Kevin, I do work for Microsoft. Yes, I do. Yes. But I do present a lot of content on my own on the side. Yeah. You'd be worried about being a self-taught developer, says Brainy, considering how much AI increases productivity. There might only be enough jobs. No. AI is another tool that goes into the mix. When AI is able to generate, I had a great clip yesterday. AI generated an error message for us. Right here, if I go into this page, let's go back one. Let me delete the hashtag that I told it to create, right? Right, let's delete that hashtag. That's not how you spell delete. There we go. Right, so I thought I deleted that. Restart. The AI generated, it's still rebuilding, okay. The AI generated an error message for us. Not only did it generate an error message, but it also told you how to fix it. Let me show you. There you go. Attempt 2, it's going to get connected. There it goes. The AI generated this error message. It figured out, this is how you get to the, you press the little kebab menu up there to get, and it's in the header to get to and solve that. The AI figured that out. It's not writing code, but it's discovering how to do some things here that I didn't really want to figure out how I wanted to word and write, and that's good enough for me. I was going to leave it blank. Oh yeah, absolutely. As a young developer, keep a notebook. I don't care if it's a physical notebook or it's a notebook on your phone or your tablet. Keep a notebook of ideas. A journal. Hey, look, here are the things that I was thinking about. Here's what I accomplished. Because that will help you next week, next month, to reflect on and go back and say, what did I accomplish? What was that thing, that project I was thinking about? So, start small. That's a good idea, old school coder. Yep. AI does increase productivity. Do I think this would create more or less job opportunities? More, because we're going to figure out ways to make the AI do more of the tedious things so that we as humans can figure out the more complicated things. The AI is more of a text calculator. It's figuring out how to calculate and put likely words next to each other. It doesn't actually know how to think. Demand for software solutions will increase because it becomes cheaper to buy. No, not because it becomes cheaper to buy. Because you're able to get more sophisticated solutions that solve a wider range of problems and go deeper on solving those problems that just wasn't possible before. This app, Tags app, has built into it an artificial intelligence that moderates content. Is it 100% accurate? No. It's probably about 90% accurate. It's not bad. I'm not going to give it full control over what content should be shown or shouldn't shown, but what content should be blocked, should be rejected, sure. I'll give it that capability. But artificial intelligence, what we call artificial intelligence, are really the large language models. The large language models are just a text calculator. They're not doing any thinking. They're not putting together and discovering things. They know how to summarize based on a block of text. They can analyze text and summarize it for us. It knows how to do that because it understands the language. It doesn't know how to think. It's a text calculator. I do need to wrap it up because I have some YouTube content that I want to finish pulling together and put out there. Anoop uses Obsidian for notebooks. I have several large... they're not large. I have several notebooks that I manage for exactly that. And I have daily notes that I keep for work that show, here's the phone calls I had. Here's the people I talked to. And I showed on a previous stream, I have contact cards, contact notes. So I have a contact note for our friend Scott Hanselman. I work closely with Scott. I have a contact note for him. So when I have a call with him, I have a note that says, here's what Scott and I talked about, and it's linked to Scott's contact note. I can go into Scott's contact note, and because of what are called backlinks in Obsidian, I can see, here's the phone calls that I had with Scott, and jump right into those last discussions from the Scott note. That's pretty handy. Have a good one, JS Maniac. We'll be back streaming tomorrow. Yeah, let's call it a day here. I will check in and commit my code. I didn't do that first. I should do that first, shouldn't I? Right? We should do that. Hang on. Let me head back over and commit that code. I forget where I left off. I was working on the moderation page. We were updating the header. Yep. So let's add tags app, Blazor, components. That's good enough. Yep. And commit those. Started work on the moderation page. And I'll push that. And this will eventually all get bundled together into a Docker container so it runs nicely, and then we'll break it up and we'll turn it into an Aspire application. There we go. It's pushed out. It's available on my GitHub if folks want to check that out. All right. There we go. Now I feel good. Now we're up to speed. Everything's committed and out there on the GitHub so I can work on it on my other machines, not necessarily that ARM device if I don't want to. All right. Have a good one, Lanky Scottish Nerd. Yeah. So let's wrap this up and see who else is streaming on the big Twitch TV network. Those of you that are watching on YouTube, there are lots more videos available for you that I hope you take a few moments to check out. They're over on the side there and down below or something like that. Those of you on Twitch, I'm going to take a look and see who we get you rated into here. I think we're going to send you over to... What? I think we're going to go over to a Minecraft streamer. Let's have some fun. Yeah. I'm going to raid into our friend, Fairy Wings, who's playing Minecraft right now. And, let's, say hello and have a good time visiting with her. So here comes the raid call. And there we go. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will be back tomorrow I'm not sure. I wanted to have a long stream one of these days. I'll be back tomorrow on Twitch, on YouTube, broadcasting live, writing code, telling jokes, having a good time, answering your questions, and working more on Tags app. A little bit later today, I'm going to have a couple, well, at least one video published for folks getting started with C#. Maybe I'll get into recording the kind of recap of Tags app. Maybe. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you tomorrow. Until then, I wish you good health and good coding. Take care.